In this lesson, we're going to cover how to get specific elements out of a list or a string, and this is called slicing in Python. And it's a computer term for pulling certain values out of a list. You're slicing them out. Now, the basic syntax to remember here is you've got square brackets, which lets the interpreter know that you're looking for a slice, and then it is start, colon, end, and an optional colon step. Now, if you don't put that last colon in there, it's a step of 1, meaning it will go through and get every single item in that range. So we're going to create a list here of the days of the week, Monday through Sunday. To grab a single value out of this, we're going to do square brackets. The numbering starts with 0. Confusing when you first start learning your first language, but almost every computer language has an index of 0 when you're doing slicing or pulling the values out. So if you get days 0, that is going to be Monday. And then if you get days 3, which is really the fourth element, that's going to be Thursday. And so you can go through and you can pull single items out of there by just putting a single number in, and it will go get that element in the list. Now you can go from the end of the list, so you do a negative number and it counts backwards. So -1 would be Sunday and -3 would be Friday. So you can go both from the beginning if it's a positive number or count backwards from the end if it's a negative number. What if you want to grab more than one item from the list? Now that's where you do a colon. So the first number is where you start, and the second number is where you stop, but it doesn't include that in the range. So it will go days 1:4 will start at offset of 1, which is the second one, so it's Tuesday, and then it will go Wednesday, Thursday, and stop before it reaches the fifth element, which is number 4 in the list. So again, it's just a syntax you're going to have to get used to, but if you do an offset of 1 instead of 0, it makes, it's 1 to 4, but it's really element 2 all the way up to element 4 instead of 5. So now what if you want to do this range from the end of the list? Well, you can start counting -4, so that would be 4 back from the end, so that's Thursday all the way to -1. And so that gets you Thursday through Saturday. Sometimes this is useful, especially when you're trying to grab the end of a list. Now, what if you don't want every specific item? That's where you can do that colon and put the step in there. So here we're going to go from 0 to 7. So 0:7:2. And that gets us every other day. So it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Another sort of syntax is you can get from the beginning to a specific item. So you can leave off that first number. So it's days, and it's just colon, no number, but the interpreter knows that that means to start at the beginning of the list and go all the way to the fifth item. So it's going to get you Monday through Friday, basically the first 5 days of the week. Now, what about doing it the opposite way? I want to start at offset 2, the third item, and get all the way to the end of the list. So that's 2 colon and leave off that final number, and the interpreter will go, okay, just get everything else in the list. You could leave off all the numbers, which means I want, colon, colon. I want beginning to the end, but I want every other one. So I do :2 to say every other one. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Now, what about strings? If you think of a string as a list of individual characters, this slicing works exactly the same way. So I've got a phrase, the cat in the hat. And if I want everything from the fourth or the fifth item, but you start at 0, all the way to the end of the string, that gives me cat in the hat and leaves off the and the starting space. I'm going to show you how you can look for words and then get everything after it. And these kinds of techniques are things that you need to get comfortable with because you're going to be doing a lot of string manipulation in your programming career. So we're going to do a word as cat. You could use a different word here, and I'll show you why I made it a variable here in a second. And I'm going to find the position of that word by saying phrase.find. We studied that in the string functions, and we're going to look for the word, and that's going to give us the position of the CAT, which is going to be at 4. And then I want to print out the phrase, and I've started my slice. Now, instead of hard coding a number, I'm going to put a variable here. And it will do the math and find the variable. So I say the position plus, and this is a new one, len, which is length of the word. And so that will skip it over the word. It'll start at the beginning of the word, and then it'll add the number of characters in the word, and then I want everything after that. And so that gives me in the hat. And with the space in the front, if I wanted to skip the space, I could add another one there, or I could do a left strip to get rid of it. So go practice this. Start slicing up your list. Get a string. Try to find things in it. Try to get everything before a certain word. Try to find everything after a certain word. Use this stuff in your own code. Play with it so that you begin to internalize it and make it your own, so that you'll know, oh yeah, I did that. Let me go grab that code that I wrote 4 or 5 months ago. I've got code that does this. I can't tell you how many times I go to previous projects for a starting point. When I go to do something new, I'm like, that's similar to what I did over there. Let me go grab it, and then I start modifying it for the new situation. Subscribe if you want to keep getting videos like this. I'm going to keep putting them out. Smash that like button so I can help more people, and I'll see you in the next one.